Cincinnati is 8-4 on the season. They're getting red hot. They're hitting their Super Bowl stride right now. And Cleveland won a game against the Texans last week. They're 5-7. But if you look at Cleveland, coach, they scored 3 touchdowns, none of them on the offensive side of the ball. Everybody thought Deshaun Watson was going to come back. All their problems were going to be settled. Everything's going to be okay. And he was okay, but he wasn't great. Didn't throw a touchdown pass, but he had an interception in that game. But I look at Cincinnati right now. Their defense is stepping up. They're playing great defense. Their offense is getting it done. They're getting healthier on that side of the ball. Question about Joe Mixon in this game, if he's going to come back. But don't worry, Samaje Perine has been doing a terrific job running the ball and catching the ball in the backfield. Jamar Chase, in 8 games, he just came back last week. He still has 54 receptions and 6 touchdowns. But you look at the wide receivers, T. Higgins is doing a terrific job out there. And Joe Burrow, you can't say enough about him. What a great leader. And he's starting to get confidence in running the football. He ran for a touchdown last week. The Cincinnati Bengals are traveling to Cleveland. They're a 6-point favorite.
Well, I think Cleveland was very disappointing last week. You mentioned about Deshaun Watson coming back. I don't expect him to have his poor performance this week as he did last week. You say, what's the difference? He had practice. There's a difference, Mark. When you know you might get hit, it makes all the difference in the world. Trust me, I've had quarterbacks that I kept them out of contact, and they went in the game, and they didn't play very, very well. Once we made them live, they changed completely. And I think that same thing with Deshaun Watson. They got to let him get hit a few times. And you wait to the last second, you understand that's part of the game. But when you've been away from the game for a couple of years, Mark, that makes a big difference, no doubt. But Cleveland is playing pretty good on defense. They do have a great deal of pressure there, but they also have some great talent. You look at Chubbs, boy, here's a guy, 1,118 yards, 5.2 yards per rush. And if the ability to run the football, particularly late in the year, and you don't know how the weather is going to be in Cincinnati and Cleveland at this stage of the year. So I think they look good. But I do like the Bengals. I like the Bengals in this fact, Mark. You mentioned the great receiver, T. Higgins. He's got 60 receptions, 14.4 per average. And then you look at Chase. 54 receptions, 13 yards a reception. When you compare that with the Bengals, for example, that averaging like 6 yards at completion, you have to be impressed because they go down the field with it. I think that the Bengals will win this football game 26-20, but I don't expect the same performance from Deshaun Watson that we saw last week. If we do, that will be a blowout in Cincinnati's favor. 26 for Cincy, 20 for Cleveland.
I look at this game. It's going to be played in Cleveland. It's going to be windy there. It's December in Cleveland. That may be a factor in the game, but still Joe Burrow, he just has total command of this offense for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cleveland's going to run the ball and try to keep it close, and they're going to try to make sure that Myles Garrett can get to the quarterback. He's got 10 sacks on the season. But I just think Joe Burrow right now has that confidence and has his team rolling. I got Cincinnati winning this game 30-17. I love the 17 number this week for some reason.